and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, my name is Unapologetically Mocha, and on this channel we talk about all things craft and crochet. So if you're into the lifestyle that is all about crafting, whether that's crochet, knitting, sewing, quilting, whatever, if you're into the lifestyle that goes with crafting, you're in the right place because that's my jam. Wow, it's been a long time since I've actually said that intro. Um, Well, my last video was a hook review, and that was over a year ago. And my last full video before that was probably a year before that. So yeah, it's been a while. I'm not gonna edit this video, so this is probably gonna be all over the place. So I'm gonna apologize in advance. But if you want to know where I've been and what's going on and what's going to happen in the future, I suggest you get a snack, get a beverage, get comfy, because this is going to take a minute. So, I guess things started falling apart in 2024. Uh, in short, genetics caught up with me, and I had several crazy health issues. I already have stuff going on, like I have rheumatoid arthritis and fibro, so I'm always battling those. But I also started my my blood pressure went through the roof. Basically, is what happened. I don't know why it just shot through the roof, and it caused some cardiac issues, which led to several hospital stays and a whole lot of tests and a whole lot of doctors coming in and giving me the solemn look of saying, "You have some heart damage," and blah blah blah. And I'm looking at them going, and my one doctor looked at me and said, "You don't seem surprised." And I was like, "Have you seen my family history?" Both of my parents had heart conditions. They are both diabetics. They are both prone to strokes. They both had high blood pressure. The fact that I had made it into my mid 50s without any of this really like knocking on my door was a miracle in and of itself. So when they came in and told me that I had heart damage and it was significant and I needed to blah blah change and go on medications, it was not a shock. So I made some changes. I went on the medication. And fortunately, I have managed to reverse quite a bit of damage. I mean, it's still not 100% or anywhere near perfect, but I'm much better than I was. My blood pressure's under control. Like I said, my heart function is greatly improved. So, yay on that. Um, I did have one. Let me back up because the incident that set this all off was I had been working on something and I was pulling an all nighter, and I felt like I was like having an asthma attack or something. I couldn't breathe, and I'd gone to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like you have like a respiratory infection. Here, take this inhaler. Use it when you need to." Well, this particular night, the inhaler wasn't working, and my breathing was getting worse and worse, and I was like out of breath, just going from where I was sitting in the dining room working into the kitchen to get something to drink and back. I could barely do that without running out of energy and being um not being able to breathe. So I was finally finished, basically finished what I was working on. I was going to go to bed, but something told me, Kim, if you go and lay down, there's a very good chance you will not get back up. So I literally stayed up all night and waited for Diva to come downstairs. I told her, I'm like, I think I need to go to the doctor, to the emergency room, the clinic, something. And she's looking at me and she's like, "You've been up all night?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but which actually isn't really that big of a shock. 'Cause pulling all night for me is not that big a deal. But normally I'd pull all night when I go to bed." But um she had a meeting, and she was like, "Let me." She said, "I have to go to this meeting, so um Now, mind you, I was kind of downplaying it, so I don't think she didn't really realize the severity of what I was going through. Otherwise, she would have not gone to the meeting. But I was like, she's like, I need to go to this meeting. She's like, I'll come back and I'll take you to the clinic. I was like, okay, fine. So stayed up. I sat in that same spot until she came back. Like, and there's like an hour or so later. And I went to the clinic, and long, making a really long story just a little bit shorter, they sent me directly to the hospital, and that's when the whole cardiac thing started. So anyway, I kind of bounced back from that, feeling pretty good. Still have some issues, but better off than I was. Um, which is a good thing because it's a good thing that my blood pressure and my stress levels were lower because things just in life just kind of got worse. Now, that covered the end of 2024 through roughly April of 2025. So here comes, and mind you, other things happened too. Like my son-in-law had emergency surgery; he almost died. I just wonder poor Diva is actually still standing because we really put her through a lot. Anyway, so let's get to June of 2025. I had gone to the grocery store, and this ridiculous thunderstorm was blowing through. And I was like, wow, this is a really bad storm. So I finished the grocery shopping, and I'm waiting for the rain to subside a little bit so I could like make the mad dash to the car. So I make a mad dash to the car. I chuck all the groceries in the back seat. I jump in the car. I drive home. I am sitting in my driveway because at this point the rain started just coming down in buckets again. I'm sitting in my driveway and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the 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 rain to subside a bit before I start lugging all these groceries in. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the radio and I'm just chilling. And there's this very, very loud boom. I mean, it was so loud and so big, it shook the car. And I'm sitting there and I was like, whoa. And I knew it was a lightning strike. And I was like, wow, that was close. And I'm still sitting there and I'm still waiting for the rain to subside a little bit. And Diva calls to see if I was okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Um, we were talking about how close the lightning strike was. She's like, yeah. She's like, it was so close. She's like, it literally popped the breaker in the house. And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Um, Not even 2 minutes later, my neighbor calls me and says, your house is on fire. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She's like, your house is on fire. So mind you, I'm still sitting in the car. It's still pouring rain. I jump out of the car. I literally run through the driveway to the side of the house, up the front steps, get to the door, and I'm looking at the kids. I'm like, the house is on fire. And they're both like, what? I was like, you heard me. The house is on fire. So meanwhile, as we're sitting here trying to figure out what we're going to do, because we got all the dogs, we got the pets, we can hear the fire trucks coming. Now we only live like maybe 4 blocks from the fire department. So Diva grabs her lizard, and we're trying to like get dogs on leashes, but they're kind of starting to freak out. I think they're sensing something's going on. Meanwhile, the firemen get there and they're like, "Get out, get out, get out, get out." And we're like, but our pets, we'll get them, get out." So we leave the house, and to make another long story a little shorter, we spent the next 3 hours watching our house burn down. I mean, you know what? I can't even say technically it burned down because it didn't. Like on TV, they always show like how the dramatic of like houses when they like collapse and they go up in flames. Ours didn't do that. Ours kind of. I only saw the fire from the side. Diva saw it from the front. Um, but I remember at one point basically it sounded like the house was just sighing. It was allowed this like deep sigh, like it had just given up. And right around that time, Taylor was telling me that, well, as I said, she was watching the fire from the front. She had watched it burn a hole through the front of the house, and then she said you just saw like the whole inside just kind of cave in on itself. So yeah, June 26th, I believe, was the 25th. You think I'd remember that? I'll put the date up there for sure. It's the 25th or 26th. Pretty sure it's the 26th. Um, so yeah, we lost everything. Um, and my heart, even with losing everything, including my studio, my yarn stash, my sewing machine, all the stuff that I had made, I lost everything. But still, the hardest part was watching my daughter lose everything because she had worked so hard. I mean, those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, you probably remember the saga of us getting that house and how much work and how many hoops she had to jump through. So watching her lose all that was heartbreaking. But, you know, life is going to life. And so we did what we could do. We're fortunate that Taylor's employer had a place we could stay until we could find a new place to live. So we stayed there for a while. And fortunately, we had insurance. And so that paid for like paying off the house. And um, we used the rest of that as a down payment on a new house. And we had a GoFundMe that someone suggested I make. And some of you donated to. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we used that to furnish the new house, at least partially. And this is a side thought, in a bit of a rant. Some people, when they saw we had a GoFundMe, I don't know what they thought we were going to do with the money, but or we literally, that was the only money we had to furnish the new house because, again, excuse me, yes, we did have homeowners insurance and we had a decent homeowners insurance policy. But housing prices being what they were, we needed that money to have a down payment on a new house. And we even used part of donated money to make the down payment. That's how much housing prices have changed from when we bought the house that we had just lost to the one that we ended up buying. But people are like, well, they've got homeowners insurance. I don't understand why I need a GoFundMe. Because in order to have enough homeowners insurance to like cover furnishing a new house, we would have had to have like a $500,000 policy. And have you priced homeowners insurance lately? Not a thing. Not affordable at all. But anyway, those some to the people that were complaining that we had a GoFundMe, whatever. Say you don't donate, that's fine, but I hope you never have to go through this situation, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, so we finally find a place. I say finally, even though from the moment that the house burned down to when we finally moved into our new place, it was like 6 months. And I'm fully aware that that was a pretty quick turnaround for someone who's for a disaster like that, because I know people who have suffered disasters around the same time we did, and basically they're still trying to find homes and get their lives back together. So, don't get me wrong, I understand how blessed we were to be able to bounce back the way we were, but it still felt like forever because we weren't in our own place. We felt like we were on borrowed time, and it was just not an ideal situation. So anyway, we find a house, we move in, and that's where we are now. And the house is lovely. Love the house. And you know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. The house is great. So now I'm to the point where I'm kind of ready to like get back into the swing of things. My health is better. I have an actual place to live. Mind you, that hook review that I did last year was at our temporary place, but it was just too cramped and too crowded. And I thought I was ready to come back to making videos at that point, but it was just too much going on, and we are still too stressed because we didn't have a permanent place to live yet, and that whole process was taking forever, or at least that's what it seemed like. In retrospect, it wasn't that long, but it did seem like forever at the time. But I just wasn't ready yet. Um, so then we moved in here, and I was trying to get settled in. And of course, when you lose everything, replacing things is overwhelming. I mean, I couldn't go into Michael's for like the longest time because it was like everywhere I looked, it was like, oh, I used to have that. I used to have that. Oh, I had one of those. I had a couple of those, and it was just overwhelming. So I really couldn't be there for long periods of time. So I was replacing things basically as I needed them, and that's how I've gone on with buying new stuff. I'm definitely buying with more intention now. I'm not just like, "Ooh, that's pretty. I like that," and I'm buying it. It's one of those. Is this something that I really want to like help build my collection? Is this something that I need? So I'm definitely building with more intention now than I did before. I did get some really cool gifts from people that that's gonna be a separate video. I'm gonna show you like because as thank yous to them and just because it's pretty. But that's a separate video. I'll come with you. I'll come at you with that one at a different time. But so I replaced a lot of my stuff. Like one of the first things I replaced was um one of the first things I will okay, so the night of the fire, um, we had to go to Walmart because like we had like nothing. And one of the first things I bought, and it's probably gonna shock anybody, was a skein of yarn and a crochet hook. I'm sure none of you are surprised that I did that because like crafts have always been like the thing my go-to for like comfort and calm and sanity. So I definitely replaced a decent amount of my well, not a decent yarn. I bought yarn. I bought some of my favorite yarns, and I replaced my sewing machine, and I replaced some of my hooks. And Diva got me my Tulip Patimos for Christmas. I haven't got my IDs back yet because, well, those are expensive and they've been on back order. But I am going to get those eventually. And I'm looking at some other kind of hooks, really cool hooks. So if you have like a favorite hook set, leave a comment well, leave a comment on the video, and I'll look into seeing if maybe I want to buy those. Because again, I'm definitely buying with more intention this go around. Mainly because, well, not mainly. One reason because it's expensive to replace things. I mean, I'm replacing things that I've had that I had for 20 years, and so 20 years worth of stuff. That's a lot of money. But I'm being very cautious and not cautious, but I'm paying attention to what I'm buying, I guess is what I'm saying. So anyway, if you've got like a favorite hook you like, leave a comment and I'll look into it because I'm just trying to like just be more present with my purchases, I guess. But anyway, so I've got myself craft wise pretty much back up and running, at least with my favorite crafts, which were crochet, sewing, quilting, and my diamond art painting. So I've got all my stuff basically for those back. And once I did that and I really started getting back into doing my crafts, I realized that I missed making the videos. I missed talking to you guys. I missed doing my lives. So this is my low key way of saying I think I'm back. At least I'm going to attempt to be back because I've got a lot that I'm going to tell you guys about, and I have a lot I'm going to say, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now, and I think that I should probably lend my voice to some of it because why not? And you guys seem to like it when I talk about topics, so why not? And you might have noticed that my channel name went back to the original Unapologetically Mocha. Um, in case you didn't know, my original channel was called Unapologetically Mocha. Then I changed it to Unapologetically Mocha Crochets and Crafts. That such a mouthful. Then I dropped the unapology part, and now it's just Mocha Crochets and Crafts. Well, to be honest, Mocha Crochets and Crafts kind of has a sour taste because that's the name I was going under after the fire and all that everything, and it kind of just sours that name for me. But I will always, always, always be unapologetic. So it just made sense for me to just make the leap back to Unapologetically Mocha. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to do crochet. I'm still doing crafts. But I'm also going to re-embrace the unapologetically part of myself, which means I'm going to add my commentary about topics in the craft industry, in the world in general, in politics, in religion, whatever I'm feeling about talking about at that given time. I'm probably going to say something about it. And I'll probably do a craft while I'm doing it, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like, in case you haven't noticed, I'm making a granny square for a special super secret project that I can't tell you about yet. That's also coming in the video. So, yes, Unapologetically Mocha is back. So is the attitude. The crochet videos and the craft videos are back as well. I'm going to start doing my lives. I'm not sure when yet, but they're coming. And this is me checking my notes, make sure I've told you guys everything I need to tell you. So if you hear rustling paper, that's me in my notebook. I'm just checking. Yeah. So basically, the long and short of it is, I had some health problems. Then the house burned down. Then I completely lost any motivation to want to do anything. And that's finally coming back. My health is better. We have a house. And now I'm coming back to do videos and give you my opinions on a variety of things. And yeah, that's the video. So, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. This is where the granny square is at this point. It's not done yet. I still got a couple more rounds. But if you like this video and you think that you want to stick around and see what I have coming up in the future, and you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. Again, I do plan on starting the lives again, but I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen. But again, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know. You can also follow me on my other socials. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, but I don't really post there much. Here, TikTok and Facebook are my three big ones, basically. I should probably start doing threads more. That may happen. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I've missed y'all. And I'm pretty glad to be back. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.